Hey guys, welcome back to Be Rich. Before we get into the video, I wanted to bring to your notice that my uncles VinodSrinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it. And we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu. And these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back to Be Rich. Today I'm not joined by either of my uncles because of their certain duties which they have to attend to. However, I will try to make it worth your while today. That being said, welcome back to Be Rich. Today we're going to be talking about Starbucks and them replacing their old CEO, Mr. Lakshman Narasimhan, to the new CEO whose name is Brian Niccol. So let's analyze this move. Let's see whether something's going to strategically change with Starbucks. What has been happening with Starbucks before and why has the price of Starbucks gone up? So the first point is that Starbucks continuing to go through some troubles as they have been for quite a while. So over the past 2 years or a year and a half or 2 years, they have been struggling with declining markets, and especially in the China segment where consumers are not purchasing as much Starbucks coffee as they were before, and Chinese competitors have emerged trying to copy the Starbucks model and giving Starbucks competition. So other companies have also been affected by China, such as Nike, which we've covered in this channel before, and companies like HSBC, which also has a significant segment in China. So that being said, Starbucks has joined the ranks of companies which are struggling because of a struggling Chinese consumer market. So what is happening in China? Let's quickly look at that. In China, we saw the fact that the Chinese economy was in shambles or is currently still struggling to recover, and Chinese consumers were extremely cautious. They didn't want to spend as much because, understandably so, their economy wasn't doing so well. So this meant that consumers in China were reducing their expenditure on goods which were not necessities. So goods like, a Nike shoe or a Starbucks coffee. These things you don't need to survive, and these products were not bought in China as much as they were before. Secondly, China is also rubbing shoulders with the US, and this definitely causes some sort of tension in terms of regulation and how policy towards China is going to be going forward from now on. So that being said, Starbucks, its second biggest market is China, right behind North America. And even in North America, Starbucks was having a tough time trying to maintain its consumer base, and they saw quite a bit of decline. So sales in the United States alone declined by 14% year on year during the most recent quarter. And there has been stiff competition for Starbucks. So companies like Luckin Coffee, and even in India, there's a competitor known as Third Wave. For those of you who are in Bangalore, you must be aware of this brand. This is also one of the competitors in our own country, which is giving Starbucks a run for its money. So this being said, let's look at what Starbucks has been doing since 2019. So since 2019, Starbucks has doubled the amount of stores. So it has 7,306 stores as of today, and this hasn't added much to their sales revenue. However, it did cost money to expand, and they did strike up joint ventures with different entities in different countries, and they're also having another big problem which I'll get to. But before we get to that problem, Starbucks has spent a lot on capital expenditure, and it is seen no big shift in their market or in their revenue. And this has come in at a time when the global economy is slowing down. It's slowing down because economies around the world raised their interest rates after the COVID spending spree which happened. Countries around the world reduced their expenditure and they tried to push up their interest rates, and this naturally meant that economies were slowing down. And this also meant that any tailwind, that is any sort of boost Starbucks saw from this increase in consumer spending, had come down. So this being said, let's see what Starbucks is also facing in terms of other troubles. So all of you must have read in the newspaper that Starbucks has also been undergoing unionization problems. What is unionization? Unionization is basically when different workers come together and they say, look, you are not paying us enough. We need to be compensated fairly for work. And this has meant that Starbucks has had to dish out more in terms of wages for their baristas and their other workers in Starbucks outlets. And for a company like Starbucks, which heavily relies on manpower, this is not a technology oriented company. Yes, it does have a Starbucks app and it is trying to bring in technological streamlining in terms of machinery and technology, in terms of what they're producing in their coffee and their other food items. However, it is still driven by labor, and labor is important for the functioning of Starbucks. So when labor is a huge component in your costs, and you see that your labor is demanding more in terms of wages, this has naturally meant that Starbucks's costs have gone up. And if costs go up and revenue, that is sales revenue, comes down, this basically means that, look, you're not going to be making as much money as you were before. And if your company's profits are going down, this is not a good sign for investors anywhere. And investors rewarded Starbucks for their poor performance in terms of sales revenue as well as profits by tanking the market capitalization from 2023, where it was close to $120 billion, to a drop of about $85 billion, anywhere between $80 to $90 billion, the market capitalization of Starbucks had dropped to. So this is almost halving of the Starbucks stock price, which has happened. And for the past 512 days, we had Mr. Lakshman Narasimhan, who had tried to fix Starbucks in terms of the excessively long menu and inefficient stores. So Starbucks has another problem where the drinks take too much time to manufacture, or rather too much time to produce, and there were excessively long wait times for Starbucks coffee goers. And secondly, Starbucks is also facing a dilemma. Do I prioritize consumers who are on the lower end of the income spectrum, or do I prioritize consumers who are on the higher end of the income spectrum? So people on the higher end of the income spectrum are saying, look, Starbucks has become a place which doesn't cater to people like us, so we're going to move to smaller and niche places which cater to people from our income group. People on the lower end of the spectrum say that, look, Starbucks has become too expensive. I don't think we can shop at Starbucks. Rather, we just make our coffee at home. So when you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, someone like Lakshman Narasimhan has to figure out whether they want to prioritize one or the other, or how they were going to make a compromise. So that being said, it's not just Starbucks facing this problem. Companies like McDonald's has also faced a shaky, or rather wobbly, demand for their products. So if you look at McDonald's sales revenue, you can clearly see they aren't facing such strong demand as they were before. So that being said, let's look at who the new CEO is, and let's see how the market has reacted to the new CEO. The new CEO of Starbucks is a man known as Brian Niccol. Brian Niccol is the man credited to turning around Chipotle. Chipotle is another fast food company in America, and this is a company which produces Mexican food. So your burritos and your tacos, any sort of Mexican cuisine is produced, or rather prepared at Chipotle. And Chipotle had a big downturn in 2015 when they were facing allegations against them that they were having troubles with maintaining hygiene in their stores. So Chipotle had a problem of E. coli. E. coli is a strain of bacteria which causes somewhere close to mild to severe symptoms in certain people, because it affects you and infects your digestive system. So Chipotle was facing a huge PR disaster, and they were facing a hygiene crisis. And this is the man who's credited to have come into Chipotle and turned it around. And since then, we see that Chipotle has done a complete 180, and I think Chipotle has almost gone up in market capitalization multiple times. So he has increased the market capitalization of Chipotle, he's increased the profits of Chipotle, and today Chipotle stands to be a formidable force in the fast food industry. So Brian Niccol was also CEO of Taco Bell, and he was able to turn around Taco Bell as well when it was going through a troubled phase. So Brian Niccol is seen as a man who is able to come into a business and turn it around for the better. Will he be able to fix Starbucks' problems is a question that remains to be answered, because Starbucks is a much bigger company than either Chipotle or Taco Bell. If you look at Starbucks, its store size of in excess of 7,300 stores is much larger than Chipotle, when Chipotle seems to be just a drop in the bucket when compared to a company the size of Starbucks. That being said, as to what would we as investors have to think about when we look at Starbucks and their new CEO, because the market has reacted quite well. The market went up, pushed up the market capitalization by $19 billion. $19 billion is roughly one Domino's Pizza's worth of market capitalization. So imagine Domino's Pizza and its market capitalization. Because Brian Niccol has joined Starbucks, we see that the market has pushed up the market capitalization of Starbucks by the same amount as Domino's Pizza's market capitalization. So this is definitely going to be interesting. Whether Brian Nichols is going to be able to create a difference in Starbucks is left to be seen. And us as investors have to remember what Uncle Warren had said. He said that, look, yes, good management matters and you need someone who understands the company through and through. However, good management is not enough. The business also has to be good. So Starbucks is a company whose business model is completely based off of the idea of having a certain amount of labor and then trying to push out as much products as possible. So as long as they're able to price discriminate, that is, if they're able to create more products for those who are on the higher end of the income spectrum, so they don't feel left out, and those on the lower end of the income spectrum, they'll be able to harness both ends of the consumer base. However, Starbucks hasn't been able to do that in the recent past, and it is up to whether Brian Niccol is going to be able to do that. With that, I thank you for joining Be Rich. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon to get notified of when we upload our latest video. And that being said, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. We will make it a point to read your comments. I thank you again for watching Be Rich.
I told you about visiting Singapore. The date has been finalized. It's 25th August. It's a Sunday. Those desirous of meeting me in Singapore can drop a message to the WhatsApp number given below or contact my team by an email. My team would reach out to you and we will assure you of our best services. For English and Hindi, there will be a separate meeting. See you in Singapore. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.